Hello and welcome to the third rail. We have a new addition to the collection this week. I just received this little Dutch class 1200 of the NS and I thought we should have a first look at it together. Let's start with a quick model overview as usual. The model first appeared in the 1984 edition of the Märklin program. You will find it at the top of page 91 of the catalogue that year. Yes, page 91, there was a lot going on. The model is listed under model number 3168. The same year, Marklin issued a second version with a minor modification consisting in the addition of a missing pipe on the buffer beam. This version remained in production until 1988. Now, on to a high-level overview of the prototype for context. Our model represents a class 1200 of the Dutch Railways, the NS. This class of locomotives was employed for all types of services. The class is a child of the Marshall Plan, which financed its development and production. At the end of World War II, the Dutch Railways had restarted their pre-war electrification project. At the time, there weren't enough capabilities in the Netherlands, so a locomotive design was commissioned from Baldwin Locomotive Works in partnership with Westinghouse Electric Corporation. Dutch companies Werkspoor and Enaf would then manufacture the engines. An initial order of 75 units was placed in 1949. The first trials took place in 1951 and the first 14 engines entered service soon after in 1952. These were given a turquoise livery which proved difficult to keep, so the next 11 units entered service bearing the standard brown NS freight livery. These were also the last units produced, as a decision had been made in the meantime to order more of the French-made Class 1100 instead. All 25 Class 1200 received a Prussian blue livery as early as 1954. For the next 20 years, the units remained virtually unchanged, bar the addition of a new NS logo in the late 1960s. In 1974, a new livery was introduced, but its deployment was only completed in 1983. So for a while you could have seen both liveries in operation at the same time. In the late 1970s, the engine received a little facelift with a new headlight arrangement. The class remained in service until 1998. 5 units were then purchased by private freight or charter operators, and 3 went into preservation. All remaining units were scrapped. This completes the overview. You'll find credits and links to information sources in the video description below, as usual. Let's have a look at my 3168 now. So, here it is in its box. The model was sold to me as a model in good condition. That can mean anything, so let's see what surprises we've got in there. The box itself is in good shape. We can see that we've got the right model number, which is good. And there's a few scuffs here and there on the box, but nothing worth mentioning, really. Let's have a look in there. So we've got the original instructions. That adds to the originality. And let's take this little thing out of this box now. Yes, that doesn't look bad at all. It's obviously been used. Right, let me put it on its presentation rail and then we'll have a closer look. So there we are. And I think the model looks quite good. It's obviously been used. If we look around it briefly, we can see that, yes, there might be a few scratches here and there on the paint, but they're barely noticeable. You will have to look close. If we look at the nose, we can see that I've got a version 2 of the 3168. We've got 3 pipes. Yeah, not bad at all. It's a good overall order. I'd even dare to say it's very good. If we have a look at the chassis now, it's in condition that would be expected from something that's been rather heavily used by the looks of it. It's not really a bad thing with that type of models anyway. And if we look at the roof, it's in excellent shape and the pantographs are still operational. Excellent. Well, it's time to see how this little thing performs on the track. Let's move to the layout. And there we are. So I'm going to rail the model. I just need to find the right place for the wheels as usual. Excellent. Let me just adjust my screen a bit so you have a better view. The other way. There we go. And let's give this a bit of power. The reverser's working, the lights are working. The noise seems to be sort of okay. Yeah, the locomotive is responsive when I turn the throttle. Well, that's a good start. I'll just give the wheels a quick check. They are not seized or anything. No, that's the beauty with a model that's frequently been used by the looks of it, or recently been used at least. So I think we're ready for a loop around the layout, and we're off. So far so good. We're going to reach the braking section there. That's fine. Yeah, the model is a tad noisy, might just need a bit of oil. It might be a tad wobbly as well. But overall, that's not bad at all. I'm going to let it go for a few more rounds to see if things improve. Sometimes you need to do that in order to free up a few parts that might have become clogged up with congealed grease inside. Yeah, still okay. It is a bit noisy. And it is definitely a bit on the wobbly side. So while the loco is doing his next few rounds, I'm going to speed up the footage a bit, just to catch the locomotive after it's had a chance to improve a bit, but this hasn't helped. The noise is the same, the wobbliness is still there. But I think I'm going to try and put a few carriages nevertheless. So let's have a look at what cars we could use with this locomotive. And we have the 4049, which had been the catalogue for ages. Then we have the 4164 and 4165, which you've seen in a running session recently on the channel. Link at the top. And then we have a special series, the 4117, and a few freight wagons. Yeah, everything would look very nicely and appropriate behind this locomotive. So before I go off and get a few coaches, I'm going to give the traction tires a quick check, because they're most likely the cause of the wobbliness I noticed earlier. And indeed, some of them are completely loose, so I will need to replace them. And if I do this, I might as well service the loco. So I wouldn't be doing the model any favor if I was coupling a few carriages behind it today. So I'm going to leave them in their boxes. That shouldn't prevent us from having a look at the loco going around the layout. I think she'll make the ramp. So let me set everything up and we'll finish the video watching the locomotive on the main line. There we go. I just need to go in the right direction and we're off. And we are entering the main line. Oops, I forgot signal 5. Back in business. All pretty uneventful. These type of models from Märklin are very good, all the Dutch 1200s, so I'm not expecting any problem here. Entering station 2. And now the ramp. Uneventful, very easy. There we go. Right, I'm sure we'll see this model pretty soon on the channel once I've had a chance to service it. So for now, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Please help the channel in gaining a bit more traction by hitting the subscribe button, activating your notification bells, and sometime hit the like button. That's all very rewarding and keeps me going. Many thanks again. Bye for now.